Do you know how to gather glowing testimonials from your clients effortlessly and turn them into powerful marketing tools? In today's episode, we are going to talk about how you can quickly and easily collect those testimonials that will really help you to attract more clients and grow your business. Welcome back. If you're new to our show, I'm Jen Vazquez, and I help hyper busy female service providers to simplify their marketing with Pinterest so that they could book more clients, boost their income, and make a bigger impact. And on this podcast, I have the pleasure of also introducing you guys to a number of experts in the marketing area so that you can improve your marketing and grow your business. If that sounds like something that you would love to know more about, we would love for you to subscribe on YouTube or on our podcast. Today, I am so excited. I have a marketing background. I've been in marketing in corporate America. I know the importance of testimonials and the power of those words in marketing, and I struggle getting these. So today, I am bringing to you Kris Jones from Red Door Designs, who is our expert today, talking to us all things testimonial. Welcome.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Jen. I'm thrilled to be here today.
I love it. Founder of Red Door Stories and Story Brand Guide, Kris was mentored by Donald Miller. Oh, I love him. Author of Building a Story Brand, and with over 20 years of experience, including clients like Nike and Adidas, she helps coaches and service providers replace all of their marketing with a single story, enabling them to get more clients and focus on what they do best. I am very excited about today.
Good. I'm so glad. Me too.
How did you get started? And how did you get from there to what you're doing today with your work?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it literally started when I was a child. The way that I would play was, in hindsight, marketing. I would like devour my mom's National Geographics, cut up all the exotic images, glue them all together on an 8.5 by 11 paper, fold it up into a trifold brochure, and come up with some fake destination. And I was like selling travel to this destination that I had created. And so it kind of all started way back when I was 7. And in hindsight, I've really always been a visual storyteller. And it's no wonder that, as an adult, I got into branding and graphic design and really dove into that industry. That's when I was really working for Nike and Adidas and Jeff Bezos and some really like big players, and learned a ton, got to work on some very high profile projects, but my heart was really always with the solopreneur, with the service provider, with the small business, because that's what I could really relate to. And so when I started my own business, this was back in the day when, like early internet days, when all you needed to really thrive online was a website. It didn't matter what it said. If it looked pretty, like you were a legitimate business,
You were legit when you had a
you
website. Oh,
were legit.
yes.
Yes. So that's all you needed. And I was like, okay, I'm all about creating beautiful websites. I knew how to do that inside and out. But as time went on and the landscape online evolved, industries started getting more saturated, more and more companies and small businesses were showing up online. What had been working before, which was just like a pretty website, wasn't really working anymore. And in all honesty, my own website wasn't doing the heavy lifting that it had been, right? It wasn't working as well anymore. And I was relying solely on referrals, which we love referrals, but it's a very inconsistent way to run your business when you're really relying on them to survive. So that was really stressing me out. And about that time, a client came to me. She wanted me to design her website, and she had a new business idea. And she had actually had a background in publishing. So she was like, I'll write the website copy, you make it look pretty, and we'll be off and running. And so that was the plan. And she called me in the morning that her copy was due to me, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, help! This is a nightmare. I can't write my own copy, and I'm a good writer, and the harder I work at it, the worse it gets. Like I'm paralyzed, and I don't know what to do." Like she was completely and totally stuck. And so we brainstormed a few things. I didn't feel equipped to like write her website copy for her, but I was like, why don't you here are a couple copywriters you can hire. Maybe you should interview some of your previous clients. And she tried all that, and ultimately the copywriters that she hired went off and wrote for her, and honestly they did a beautiful job with the copy, but it didn't feel right to her because you can't outsource your own voice. And that's the trouble with the traditional path of hiring somebody to create your copy is when you are the business, you're the face of the business, your website needs to feel so aligned with who you are. You want people to go to the website, and then when they meet you in person, they're like, oh, I've already met you before. Like they're so in alignment with each other. And so she learned, okay, you can't outsource your own voice. And that whole experience taught me, or motivated me, I should say, that I was never going to let this happen to another client again. Because honestly, she was not my only client struggling with this. I was watching it over and over again. So I said, no more. And I made it my mission to crack the code on not only creating a beautiful website, but one that was really effective with messaging and one that really told a story. So I traveled all over the country. I went to workshops, I devoured books. I became one of the very first story brand guides, which is based on a book called Building a Story Brand. So before that book came out, I became a guide, so it was like I got to work intimately with Donald. And so as I navigated that process, I came through the other side, and I never approached any project the same again after that. I infused story into everything that I did. I also applied it to my own business, and literally after 23 years in marketing, I've never seen anything work so timelessly and so effectively and so immediately. So my business started to become really consistent. I was having lots of people reaching out to me because my website was now telling a story that was actually connecting with the right people, people with larger budgets, people that I really wanted to work with, people that were really ready to grow. And I could charge more for my services because they were getting a return on their investment. I mean, they still are, right?
Yeah.
It's very different when you're investing in your business when you know you're going to get a return, and that investment is going to pay itself back in a matter of a few weeks. So I started noticing my own business growing, becoming very consistent. I had people like traveling to Portland to meet me. Like my website was just like my top sales employee, working 24/7. And better than that, my clients started calling me with incredible news. Like I had one client call me and to tell me he was now charging 6 times more for the exact same service, and he was about to
Wow.
shut the doors on his business. And now he's thriving. I had another woman call me and say my close rate has gone on my sales calls has gone from 20% to 95%. Every call I get on pretty much turns into a client, and I'm hitting 50 grand a month, more than that consistently. I mean, it was so delightful to have like
Yeah, how rewarding
very,
for you.
very, and they were getting incredible results. When I talked with her after we finished working together, she was like, more than anything, I have so much more confidence because I know the power and the importance of the work I do, and I have the words to communicate it clearly. So you don't have to sell. Like when you can show up with that kind of confidence, that you just get to walk them through your story, and help them decide if they want to move forward or not, if they want, to solve the problem that you solve. And so it's just a very different, much more confident, much more clear way to run your business. And when you have a powerful story like that works for you on your website, that same story is more powerful the more you repeat it. So if you have it on Instagram, or you use it in your emails, or you use it in person when you're talking to somebody, people think, oh, that's lazy, or shouldn't I come up with new messaging? No, you shouldn't. Repetition is the way people remember you. And you want to be remembered. You want to be top of mind when somebody is ready to solve the problem that you solve. So people have to hear things like 8 or 9 times to be able to commit it to.
I think it's up to like 14 or 15 times now.
Really? Oh
I
my
know. Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, I love stats, and that's one that consistently shocks me.
Yeah.
I will also say too, I went through the story brand and used it for my website, and is
Yes.
so powerful. But one thing that I would say that I haven't heard a lot when you're talking about telling your story, everyone says I'm in a crowded industry. You could throw a rock and you'll hit another photographer or another whatever you do. This is the 100% confirmation way of standing out, having a unique selling proposition or a USP. It makes you stand out. Nobody is going to have your story
Right.
on their website. It's like legit a way to stand out.
Right. And I think often as service providers, when we're ready to revamp our website, we look at our competitors for inspiration, which is totally understandable. Like
Not
that's
effective,
a
but
very
totally
yes, but
understandable.
ultimately what that does is you end up looking like everybody else, which isn't going to help you in the long run.
No, no. All right. Well, you have worked, as we've mentioned, with brands like Nike and Adidas, and you were just throwing out some big old names out there. And I know that you're really passionate about helping people replace their marketing with a single story.
Mhm.
So, how can my audience use storytelling to simplify their marketing efforts and attract more clients? Are there some steps? Like, what can they do today to
Yeah.
get
I
started?
mean, the most powerful thing you can do is shift your thinking around your business and how to use story. And if you learn nothing else from today, what I want you to think about is you being the guide in the story and your clients being the hero in the story. Your clients are the hero of your story. You are the guide. And when I talk about hero, I mean like Karate Kid or Luke Skywalker or
Yes.
Katniss from Hunger Games. So they are the hero. They're actually the weakest character in the story because we don't know if they're going to succeed or fail, right? So we don't want to be the heroes of our own story. We want to be the guide. We want to be Yoda. We want to be Mr. Miyagi. Those are the strongest character in the story. And your heroes are looking for a guide who can guide them to success. And so I want you to shift the way you talk about your business so it's very much about your ideal client. And I actually have a freebie. It's called How to Write Compelling Copy in 5 Minutes Flat. And it will, in 5 minutes, shift and change the way you think about your business and show you how to get your story out of your head and onto paper, and how to compile that information in a way that will help you communicate more clearly what you do in a way that really creates, like, makes you the strongest character and your clients the hero of that story. Yeah.
Yes. And we'll get to more about your freebie at the end of the podcast. So I struggle with writing a lot. And the only way that I've been able to sort of get over it is by using the words that my clients tell me, right? Telling people how great you are is not as effective as telling people through your testimonials, through the people that have worked with you, saying you're great. Those are what resonates. So,
Yes.
knowing that, gathering testimonials can feel very daunting, very uncomfortable,
Wow.
and you sometimes you like don't want to know because you're so scared it's going to be bad. And 99% of the time it's good, right? So how would you walk us through your 3-step process
Mhm,
for gathering impactful testimonials, and not just like a blurb,
mhm,
but like actual testimonials,
mhm.
and like how can they do that?
Well, the first thing I'll say is that it is uncomfortable to ask for testimonials. And the truth is, your clients really think you're great and they want to share something wonderful about you. But when we ask them to provide a testimonial, they often don't know where to begin. They often are struggling with writing themselves. And so they put it on their to do list and then they put it off and put it off. And then before you know it, that email is like email 97 on your in your list and it doesn't happen. And then you're sitting there going, God, should I remind them, or this is awkward, I don't want to bug them.
Maybe they don't like me, I don't want to ask again. Yeah.
Totally, totally. Maybe they don't have anything good to say. And so I understand why this happens. And people go for very long periods of time not asking because they don't want to deal with the discomfort of it. And you don't want to like add another to do onto your client's plate, right? So it's all for very good reason. But the reality is, testimonials are proof that you know what you're doing. And there are testimonials that are very effective, and there are testimonials that are not effective. You went to my website and you read a testimonial about me that said, Kris is, really fun to work with, and
She's the
she's the
best.
best. She's really knowledgeable. Can you see yourself in that testimonial? You can't. You're like, okay, Kris is great. Big freaking deal. Okay. So then you read a testimonial that says, I struggled for 3 years with a website that didn't attract one client. And I worked with Kris, and within 2 weeks, I had 4 new clients. And now I'm hitting consistent 50 grand months or whatever that is, right?
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're like, I'm struggling with that same thing. And I want what that person got. And I'm reading proof. People believe what other people have to say about you more than they believe what you have to say about you. So these testimonials, when they're done well, have the power to really sell for you and to be very impactful in converting wherever you show them. So what I do with my clients is I'll send them an email. I've gotten really into Google reviews lately,
Yes.
and those are really magical because they show Google that you're an expert in what you do. So there are a couple ways. Like if you're looking for testimonials for your website, here's what I'd recommend you do. Email your client and say, "Hey there, I'm updating my website and I'd love to feature your transformation on my website."
That sounds so much better. Oh my
Right?
gosh.
And so just even that, right? Even that really helps and it softens it. And then you would say, I have 3 questions. If you can answer just 3 questions, it shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes. So they know like this does not have to be a lengthy, longer is not better when it comes to testimonials. So can you answer a handful of questions and just hit reply, right? And reply back. And so the questions are, what were you struggling with that made you want to work with me? And how did that struggle make you feel? We're looking for emotions. I was really overwhelmed. I was frustrated. I was fed up. People relate to emotions more than they relate to just facts. So I always follow up with, and how did that make you feel? And then I say, and what happened for you as a result of our work together? And how did that make you feel? Right. In 2 questions, you have got the full transformation. And then I like to add, just for like fun, I add, what was your favorite part of the process? And
Ooh.
that really helps also me learn what people really love, what people really enjoy. Often I won't even include that in a testimonial, but it's kind of fun for me to hear. And then I will ask, essentially I'll ask, is it okay for me to share this in my marketing materials? You always want to get
Yes.
buy-in on that. And so right then and there, they've answered a handful of questions. And if I'm doing it in person, I will add a couple more questions and I'll say, do you have anything else that you want to add? Right. And that gives people an opportunity to really like they've got their juices flowing now. And now they're like remembering what it was like to work with you. And they add a bunch of great stuff. And then I love to ask this question, which is, what would you say to a friend who is on the fence about hiring me? And that pulls out some
Oh,
nuggets.
that is a mic drop question. Say that again for those in the back,
What
in case the kids were yelling
totally.
while you were listening to
Well,
this.
and this is one that I think you could totally ask via email as well. And it just pulls out such goodness. What would you say to a friend who is on the fence about hiring me?
Oh,
And that's really a lovely one. And the other thing I want to share, gosh, I've got so many things that I want to share about this stuff. It's so fun. So that's how I get written testimonials, right? And then I remove the questions and I just morph it together, the before with the after, morph it together, and it becomes a very short 2 to 3 sentence testimonial. Your testimonial should not be any longer than that. People just want to know the transformation, where they were, where they ended up. They don't really care about the process at this point. So you can combine that. If you put it with a picture, it's way more believable. So you always want to put a headshot with a testimonial if you can. More is not more as far as quantity of testimonials. I'd rather have you have 3 to 6 good ones than 12 that haven't been edited down, or 12 that are long, or the font is tiny, or they're on a slider that's moving before you can finish the first sentence, and all of a sudden it moves, and it's like this very jarring experience on a website. So those are the ways that I get written testimonials. And then I've been really putting a lot of energy into Google testimonials, like I said. And the way I do that is a little bit different because it requires a little bit more effort on the user's part, or there are more barriers, right? They have to get into Google, they have to follow an exterior link. And so in my emails to them, if I'm looking for a Google review, in the title, I say 2-minute favor. And this email is very short. It says, if you found our time together helpful, would you be willing to give me a 1 sentence Google review? Yeah, because
ooh.
the quantity of Google reviews matters more than the length of the review.
And people are more apt to do it if it's just a sentence
Totally,
than
totally,
what they might be
totally.
thinking you're
Yeah.
expecting.
And
Whoa.
they usually it's usually more than 1 sentence, but I'm fine if they just give me a 1 sentence Google review. So I say, would you be willing to take 2 minutes to leave me a 1 sentence Google review? This is really helpful because it helps my potential clients know that I'm someone that they can trust. And then I include the direct link, like directly to the Google review. Leave your Google review here. Thank you so much. So that's the way I get those. And then honestly, I've also been really loving getting video testimonials, which most people find very, very hard to get because who wants to be on camera, right? And our clients are like, I love you, but I don't love you that much,
You're asking a lot for me. I don't even do it for my own business on
right?
Instagram. You're not going to get one from me now. I
Right.
know. I
So
know.
what I do is I take those, handful of questions, the 4 questions that I just went through with you. I take those questions and I send them my clients a link and I say, "Would you be willing to share your transformational story on my website? If so, this usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes. You can schedule a call with me here." And so, and they're excited about like sharing their story. It's different than like putting it on them.
Yes.
And so these calls, honest to God, they take 10 minutes. They don't even take 15. And I basically go through those questions that I just asked
On
on
Zoom or
Zoom.
whatever.
Go
Yep.
on
Yep.
Zoom, I hit record, I pin them so I'm off, right? It's just
Thank
them.
you.
And don't forget to do that. Don't forget to hit record. I've done that before. And in 10 minutes, it's done. And I edit myself out and I just morph it into, and the questions flow into a really natural narrative. It's like, like I said, what you struggled with, the happy end result, favorite part of the process, and what would you say to a friend who's on the fence? The flow feels very natural, and then you yourself
Yes.
out. I use Descript to do all my.
Me too. Love me some Descript.
Me too, me too. It's a game changer, right? It becomes like
Yeah.
kind of fun to edit. And it takes me probably 10 minutes to edit that together. I mean,
Maybe. Yeah.
it's so simple.
Because you're just deleting out the
Yeah.
pauses and
Yes.
your
And
questions.
my
Yes.
yes, and I just keep it simple. I don't add music, I don't add branding. I'm like, no, done is better than perfect.
So
And I have
smart.
had many clients work with me because they're like, you have a lot of video testimonials, and it's really,
Because you're hand holding people
really,
to get it done.
yes,
And by the way, I wouldn't mind doing the work if I can get a video testimonial. So
they're very
bravo.
powerful, really, really, really powerful tools. Yeah,
Love
yeah.
those. Okay. You have all these testimonials written, maybe video, which would be great.
Mhm.
Talk to us a little bit about how you can use them or how you have used them or clients have used them in marketing. Like, how can you take those testimonials and really turn it into marketing?
Well, I really believe that your website it should be the center of your marketing universe. So, whether you're on Pinterest and maybe you have a different strategy because I know you're really invested.
Oh, yo, but Pinterest just drives a tremendous amount of traffic to my
Yes,
website. So
right.
my website is the job
Yes,
of converting.
yes.
Pinterest is the job to get new eyeballs on it.
Yes, so
Yeah.
you can just rest easy. Your website is the center of your marketing universe. Everything you do, you point people to the website, and then it does the job of converting for you. And so my testimonials are typically featured right on my website, right at the point of the page where there's the most hesitation or the most tension around taking that next step forward of booking a call with me. So I have one call to action on the whole page. It's to book a call with me. And there's a point in the story where I essentially call them to action, and I tell them, okay, now it's time. Here's what it's going to look like. Step 1, 2, and 3. It's time to take step 1. If they have any hesitation or any reservation, I followed that section up with 3 testimonials that are just proof showing them I've done this before for many, many people. Not to worry. Here's what they experienced. So that's where I use them on the website. You can repurpose them in so many different ways. I mean, I feature my video testimonials in my email sequence. I
Smart.
alternate, like, here's a video testimonial or a client transformation, and then I'll follow that up the following week with a podcast interview. So it just kind of helps, share that with people. I integrate the video testimonials and the written testimonials on my website, like kind of periodically as you scroll down the page. Of course, they work great in social media. So they're just these little workhorses that, like, once you have them and once you've gotten approval to use them, you can kind of have them in your toolbox and use them whenever you need to.
I also think that it's really amazing to write like white papers or client experiences, basically putting them on your blog.
Yeah,
And you have the stuff that they gave you, but in the beginning you say they came to me with this problem.
right.
We decided on this solution. We worked together doing XYZ.
Mhm.
And this is kind of how she felt,
Yeah.
with, of course, an image maybe of her website or whatever your thing is that you do. For me, I would put like their Pinterest account on there.
Yeah.
And I feel like, because your website, of course, gets seen, but blogs tend to get a lot of reach. And so then you're just double dipping everywhere.
Totally repurposing. Like, I would call that more of like a case study, right?
Case study.
Right.
Hmm.
So that's a wonderful way just to continue to deepen that trust and connection with people. And also, it's more content for the algorithm to really see
Yes.
you as an expert.
Your whole website will get more love because of.
Yes.
All right. Well, you create simple, clear messaging for your clients. How can entrepreneurs make their websites and marketing materials more client focused?
Yeah. Well, I'll give you the 10-second story overview. Every story begins with a hero that has a problem they don't know how to solve. So they're out and about on the internet asking their friends. They're looking for a guide who can help them solve this problem. As the guide, which is you, your job is to give them a clear and simple plan and that can guide them to success. So what we want to do at the very beginning of our story is begin with a hero that has a problem they don't know how to solve. And when we are really take the time to articulate their problem on our website and starting with the problem, right? They feel seen, they feel heard, they feel validated in their problem, they feel like they're not alone in their problem. And most importantly, when you can articulate their problem really well, they feel like you're automatically going to be the best one to solve it for them. So a lot of people don't want to start like negative. They're like, let's just all focus on the positive, which I'm a big believer in, definitely the focus on the positive. But I really liken a website to like a 5 to 10 minute coffee date. Like when you meet somebody for coffee, you're not going to show up and be like, I have this thing you should do, and I know what you should do to solve this problem. You're like, what if they don't even have that problem, right? So you,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or you're pushing and pushing and pushing on something that literally doesn't matter to them.
right. So you meet somebody for coffee, you take the time to connect, you show them that they matter by listening to them, connecting with them. And that's what we do with our heroes. We really take the first, few sections of the website, take the time to connect with them, help them feel that you really get them, that you understand their problem, and also take the time to show them what's possible for them. Your job as the guide is to show them a brighter future. They've forgotten often what's possible. Sometimes they're just stuck in their problem for so long. They need you to remind them of what's going to be possible for them after they've worked with you. This is very different than features or benefits of working with you. Very different. That's talking about you again. We're talking about their life. What does their life look like after they've solved this problem, after they've worked with you? So we really want to get them engaged in the story and make it compelling in that way. Essentially, when they land on your website, they're asking three questions in their mind. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? So we just spoon feed that stuff to them, and then they're engaged and they're like, ooh, this is worth my while. And then we get on with the other parts of the story. That's when you enter in as the guide. But you have to earn the right to be the guide. And you earn the right to be the guide by showing them that they are the central hero in the story.
Love it. Totally agree with everything.
Mm.
As we're starting to wrap up, what are three things that have helped you to grow your business?
I mean, there's so many things that have helped me grow my business. But if I'm to keep it simple, of course, applying story to my own business, right? That is a no-brainer. I'm a big believer in design. I mean, that's really my first language. So, beautiful design that tells the story, or I should say, like, I like to start first with the story, but when the design is aligned with the story, it can really help bring that story to life and help it get digested in a way that it can't if it were just the words.
Help them turn the pages to discover more.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes, exactly. So beautiful design, compelling, simple, clear storytelling, and coaches. I mean, I really, it took me a long time to invest money in my own business. I was always like, no,
I'll do it myself.
yeah, just figuring it out myself. And about 8 years ago now, I really made the first investment that I've made in my business. I hired two different coaches that year, and they both really impacted my life in big ways. As business owners, we are so close to our own business, we can't see it clearly. And that's why it's so hard to write about our own business, but it's also hard to strategize about our own business when we're so close to it. And coaches can come in and give you that perspective and guidance and clarity that we need in order to take things to the next level. Because if we're going to do it all ourselves, we're going to probably just stay where we're at. And coaches have helped me expand and grow in ways I didn't even know was possible.
I totally agree with that. Before we get to the gift that you're sharing with our audience, tell everyone about the services that you provide in case people have been listening and going, oh, I need Kris in my life.
Yes. So I offer one service. What I do for my clients is I write their signature story for them. And the reason it works so effectively is because it's a collaborative process. You're not outsourcing your own voice. I am writing your story, but I'm pulling your story out of you because I know how to ask the right questions. And then we work together to refine the story after I've written it. So it is a deep, incredible process. I've had many coaches tell me I need to scale and expand and work with groups. I refuse to. I love the deep one on one work that I get to do with my clients.
Got to do what feels aligned, period.
Totally. So I work one on one with my clients. It's extremely efficient. It's really fun. It's so rewarding. And we work together to craft their signature story. Once they have their signature story, it works like an accordion, right? People wonder, like, how do you keep using the same story over and over? The components of the story are the same, but it really works like an accordion. So you have a short version of the story, medium version of the story, longer version of the story, depending on where it lives. In a video script, you might use a shorter version of that story. On a web page, it might be a longer version. So that's what I do with my clients. I love what I do. It's so fun.
A lot of our listeners to the podcast are walking or driving carpool for the kids or what have you. So they'll go home and they can go to the show notes and get all the links for you. So I know that you have sort of a resource area. So tell everyone what is in that resource area and how it can help them.
The main thing that I would recommend for everybody is the freebie. It's really the quickest way to have your hand held through making this shift in your business to actually telling a story. And so it's a 5-minute video and I walk you through how to do it. When I prompt you, you brain dump it, and then we together, morph it together into a story. So the freebie is really powerful. It will forever change the way you talk about your business. It will also give you a very compelling answer to the question, what do you do? Which we all struggle with, right? No one wants to fumble around and figure out how to say what they do in a
Or they make this elaborate script that they can never remember when they're actually on an elevator.
right, right, totally. I know.
I'm like, I have a great one, but I don't have it memorized.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to help anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I appreciate your time. It's valuable, and your advice is invaluable. So we definitely appreciate it. And everyone out there watching on YouTube or listening on the podcast, if you found some ideas and tips that you can implement in your business, we would love for you to leave a review. Now go out there and do something good for your business, like snagging Kris's gift, but also put some time on your calendar to watch that 5-minute video, and more importantly, to implement it in your business. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.